Well, let's move on to tomorrow's matches in Group F. And Croatia, I don't think we're too worried about. We'll have to see, but they're leading the group with 4 points. Then you have them playing Belgium. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me just rewind here. Yes. Okay, let's talk. Well, actually, here's what I want to talk about. Germany currently bottom. Belgium is third, only 1 point behind Croatia and Morocco. So I want to talk about those two big teams right there. Belgium and Germany in different groups, potentially going out, Nedum. I mean, which one would you be leaning towards here? Wouldn't it be amazing if Costa Rica beats Germany, says the Latin American? Wouldn't that be incredible? I don't know where you want to go with either side, but what do you make of those two big teams potentially out of here? The golden generation is definitely not golden anymore, and Germany, for a second consecutive World Cup, not getting out of the group stage.
Okay, so I think when we think about the fact that Costa Rica lost 7-0 to Spain, but then they won against Japan, I think the result against Germany would be somewhere in the middle. It just feels that way to me, because Costa Rica, they did better in that second game, but Germany, we see them in the later stages of competitions more often than not. Obviously, there are examples when that's not the case, but they are still a very good side. I think against Spain recently, they showed something which would probably get them across the line against Costa Rica, which is a level of fight and desire to go and get the result that they needed to make sure that they stayed in the competition. I think in that first game against Japan, they got a little bit lax, but when all of a sudden the time isn't against you and say the outcome is now more definitive, I think they can find another gear. And this is the best version of Germany that we've seen across the years that we've been watching them, but they are still very capable. But the bigger issue for me, really, is Belgium, because I really don't know what to expect from them. I think two of the performances they've had so far, even though they yielded 3 points, I think they've been very, very poor. I think some of their best players have looked very, very pedestrian, very, very average. So you're wondering, well, will they be able to get themselves together for this third game? Well, I don't know, because if you read what you read about the players, they're almost disagreeing with each other out in the open. And when you're doing that, you're trying to send a message, and now all of a sudden you send a message back, but almost not to each other directly, but so that everybody can see what's going on. So it doesn't seem like they're a happy camp. And going into that game where they must win, essentially, I do not feel confident about them at all, even though they have all the talent that they have. I'd like to see Lukaku play and maybe make the difference, but I believe in Germany, but I've not seen anything from Belgium that would make me think that I should believe in them to get to the last stages.
Yeah, let's just paint the picture for tomorrow then, Jules. I'd love to just tell me what storylines you're looking out here, if you echo any of Nedum's. But so we have the Group F matches with Croatia against Belgium. And then you have Canada against Morocco. Morocco, by the way, never has the World Cup seen 3 African teams in the knockout stages. We've already got 1. And Ghana could be another one. You never know. And then Morocco, we'll see. But then Canada, Morocco, obviously Canada out, Croatia, Belgium, and then in the afternoon, Eastern time, New York, of course, Japan against Spain and Costa Rica against Germany. Where is your attention, my friend?
I'll be at the Belgium game, the Croatia-Belgium game. I've covered Belgium in this competition for ESPN.
Okay, what have they shown you then?
Nothing to start with. Like on the pitch, actually nothing. As simple as that. I've loved the whole implosion, really, of that dressing room, because us French, we kind of know that kind of shizzle. And I thought, it's not that I didn't think it could happen to Belgium. I just thought there was a point where they would see, and me and Nedum talked about it at the start of the tournament, and it's a story that I was ready to go on the website, on the ESPN website, about this competition being the last dance, the Michael Jordan last dance for this golden generation. And I've spoken to people, and I had it nicely written, long read, perfect. And then that all went to pieces because of the situation that they found themselves. It's not the last dance. It's just it's the last nightmare for them, because things have gone so badly on the field, where the Canada game, they won it. They were so lucky to win it. They had 20 shots against them to 2 for them. The Morocco game was a car crash, absolute car crash, because yes, they had a bit of the ball in the first half, but they could not do anything with it and about it. And then were well beaten in the end. Whether you think it was a Courtois mistake or not, and we had a discussion, me, Nedum, and her Gomez as well for hours. And then now this game, and in between the implosion, the infighting, not physically infighting, but with words, with tensions, with attitudes. There was a barbecue, I was being told, which is really it's really unfortunate in a way, but there was a barbecue plan for the whole squad and the families the night of the Morocco game, or the next day at lunchtime. So imagine once Vertonghen and Hazard and De Bruyne and Courtois have kind of sworn at each other and say, you too slow and you too old and you can't create anything and you rubbish. And then they had to literally share the burgers together with the wives, the missus were there and the kids, and no one was talking. It was it was like, I don't know, maybe like a funeral or something. It was
Do you
crazy.
think that's a massive factor, Jules, then? Do you think that rift, that issues? I mean, obviously not all of it is a factor, but do you think that has a massive factor towards what's happening on the pitch?
Yeah, I think so. I think, again, we go back to what Deschamps said before the Denmark game. He said, listen, team spirit can't make you win matches at the World Cup, but it can make you lose some if the team spirit is not right up there. And you don't have, Nedum has been in dressing room like you and me, but you don't have to love each other. And, they don't have to be all brothers and all that fraternity thing. Of course, there's people where you get on more with than others. It's normal. It's like in every job, everybody. But to be so toxic, I think can have a negative impact. And certainly in the first two games, they didn't play for each other. They didn't fight for each other. They were clearly questioning some of the decision by the manager, whether it was the starting 11 or during the game. They had that big meeting on Monday where they all gathered and they actually said the truth to each other, that kind of stuff. And I do believe that they will do it tomorrow against Croatia because they will finally get together. I don't think they go further. I think they will be then knocked out by Spain, for example, in the last 16. But I do think that tomorrow they will just manage to gather and say, okay, one last time, let's do this. We can't be knocked out by Canada, Morocco, and Croatia here. It's embarrassing. So I expect them to really react tomorrow. I might be wrong. I expect them to react, but I think this is the limit that it is. They can react once, but they can't go much further than that.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.